Good morning and welcome to Kebun Urban. I've been wanting to post up this video for quite a while, and some been asking about how Kebun Urban looks like. Just a brief description. We are a community garden under the endorsement from the local municipality, which is called Majlis Perbandaran Muar. And actually this plot of land is about, I think it's about 8,000 square feet, or around 677 square meters. And as you can see, let me just turn this around. So as you can see, the plot consists of raised beds, which was actually built by the local municipality. Let's run through the plot itself. So, well, these are all expired corn which have already been harvested, but I didn't really have the time to clear things up. As you can see, it's already overgrown with weeds, and like any other organic gardens or organic farms or gardens that do not use any form of chemicals, herbicides or pesticides, weed is always an issue. And over here, what I do is I'll try to practice no dig. And just a showcase of this particular bed. This is made up of red oak leaf lettuce and some just 2 or 3 loose leaf lettuces. This has just been recently sown, and all these are basically compost. The compost that is purchased from a factory, nearby here, and I've been using this for about 4 years now, and it's pretty good. Not much fertilization is needed, except maybe just to add some enzymes and any other organic compost. But mainly these beds have been refilled twice a year with compost. Down below is basically all clay, because the ground itself is all either clay or laterite, which is very it's not suitable for growing any sort of vegetables. So my thoughts then when I started this particular garden was that not to dig, but I top it up with compost. So all these raised beds are basically very new, and they have been around since about a year plus. Shout out to MPM Muar, or the local Muar municipality, or Muar City Council, for donating and building these brick and cement raised beds. Now further down here, all covered in a weed mat, are all the original beds that I started out with. They are also raised beds by using cement blocks. So I'm covering up now because due to weeds. So what I'm trying to do is to mulch them, to cover them up, to kill off the weeds, and then later I will top up with compost. Over here there's a bed that shows a bed that has been covered for about 2 months, and if you can see that most of the weeds are all gone. So when they die, they basically rot and they are consumed by the organisms. You see, as compared to here, right, we have an issue of Bermuda grass, and they basically grow very wild and are very intrusive. So here, this bed is now planted with some 2 capsicums and then bird's eye chili. And so here we have one, okay, with the bird's eye chili, and farmer's friend there, a little ladybird. So mealybugs are always an issue, and aphid as well. So we try to control them by using enzyme sprays and neem oil. So here's a little ladybug, a little ladybird. Right. So most of the beds here are still covered. I've been trying to get rid of the weeds, and will take about another. Some of them will take another about a week. Some will take another about a month before I can start replanting. And here we have loose leaves, lettuces, and red oak leaf. Right. They were planted just before the Chinese New Year, about a month before Chinese New Year, and I've been actually harvesting them by leaf plucking them, and these are soon to be harvested as well. Over on this bed we have some mizunas. They taste like wasabi, and you can see further up there, those are rainbow radishes. Okay, just a close up. There's a rainbow radish. Probably take about another 2 months before we can harvest. Here we have some Hong Kong chai sim. Right, Hong Kong chai sim are quite unique because their flower can also be eaten. And some more red oak leaf and mixed lettuces. And 2 more beds over there which have not been used yet. And well, and these are yam, or taro as some of you call it. This pot was actually grown with yam before the beds were built. So with the rhizomes in the soil, they tend to grow rather prolifically. But I'm not complaining because we get to eat yam every other week or 2 weeks, and any surplus is distributed to the neighborhood. So you can see the outlay of this particular site. So this site is actually more on edible vegetables, edible greens, some roots, and this was a zinnia flower bed. See, they are dying off now. So yeah, well, it has been raining here for the past few days, with intermittent rain in between, and then heavy rain in the nights. Okay, and this is it's a green called Ulam Raja. I can't remember the name in English, so I'll post it up later. It has a fragrant taste, and it's pretty much a delicacy for Malays when they eat it as like a form of salad. So ulam is actually something like a salad form, and this can be harvested and eaten just as it is. Okay, and it gives off a fragrant taste, a fragrant smell. And when they grow taller, they give out flowers, and flowers attract a lot of pollinators. Here, this is their flower. So these are some of the few that are starting to flower. And when they, once after flowering, when the flower dries off, they would have this bracket. Okay, so these are the seed pods. So this particular bed has had a few of these trees, these plants, and they dried up, and the seeds dispersed all over. As you can see how densely planted they are. So these are all volunteer growth. Okay. We have other types of weeds over here. I've not cleared them up because they are food for pollinators. We have bees here as well. We keep stingless bees. Right, some more over here, and this is another bit of taro or yam. So as you can see, they grow very well. Even in this bed, some waste yam were thrown here, and they start to grow. So we need to top up with some compost so that they can grow bigger. You see, it's a root. So this is a greenhouse, and mainly I use this to keep seedlings. And only lately we had an I wouldn't say infestation, but we had some seedlings being eaten by shrew and rats. So actually that's an issue always with farms like ours, where we have pests, abundant in food and also abundant in pests. So we try to live together or work together cohesively. Right over here will be the compost bits. You see, like we have banana skin, pineapple skin, given by neighbors who were making pineapple tarts for the Chinese New Year. Lots of them, like kilos and kilos of pineapples. So we have 2 heaps, and we are supposed to turn them. I've not done yet, and well, if we turn them into a heat compost, or if I just leave them like this and wait for them to rot, it will take longer. Well, see what goes on later on. Right here is the wheat mulch or wheat compost, or any excess from the kitchen that is thrown here by my neighbor. So here are the one of the neighbor's plot. Right. So the mulches over here, basically we let the plants, the weeds decay, let them rot anaerobically, and of course the smell, there's a pungent smell. If we don't mind, nobody minds actually, but this is actually good. So the liquid can be used to fertilize and the soil, and also the fibers that are half rotting. He actually what they call place them, dig deep trenches into the beds, and then he will put them inside so that they can slowly release off nutrients to the plants. So see, as you can see, there's a lot of lettuces that we planted because during Chinese New Year we tend to eat a lot of lettuces, and vegetables not being cheap now, they are quite expensive now, and due to few factors, so why not plant them on our own? And these are basically tropical acclimatized lettuces. I'm sure many in Malaysia can attest to that. Those who are growing all these kind of lettuces, they are actually harvesting. And here we have sweet potato leaves. They are harvested for their leaves for consumption, not for the roots. So these are what they call the 5-finger sweet potato. They tend to be better, tend to taste nicer tastier, sweeter compared to the other types. And here we have a banana circle. Right, pretty tall plant. These are what we Hokkien call them the gukak jio. In Malay we call them the pisang tanduk. And here we have petolus, sponge gourds growing, or maybe leftover of the sponge gourd plant. Here we have volunteer Malabar spinach. I kept a lot. I planted a lot of Malabar spinach previously last year, and they flower a lot. So the seeds are mainly all thrown inside the compost pit. So as you can see that some of them are actually growing out from the compost pit, and they are big and green because of the nutrients leaching out from the compost pit. So right over there we have Chinese mustard. Okay, and then we have some long beans starting to grow or leftover. Right here we have a mini size bitter gourd. Right, some amaranth or bayam. And here's some more bitter gourd. Chili padi or bird's eye chili. Papaya. More yam. And here are bitter gourd. These are the bigger variety, the normal variety, which are larger in size compared to the last that was shown. And here are more flowering trees. So this basically attract the pollinators. We have zinnias as well, Costus Wendy. And right over there, mulch in cocoa peat are cucumbers, the long, slender type. We are the Japanese variety. And then we have cat's whiskers here, or misai kucing, a well-known herb where the leaves, or rather the whole plant, can be actually be consumed, even the flowers. And this is a loquat which I planted. Has been flowering but not fruiting, so I'm not sure how long it will take to fruit. This has been here for about 4 years already. Palm, also for pollination, because they flower a lot just like coconut, and they give a lot of food for the bees. This is an Indonesian type of bay leaf. I can't remember the name. I'll try to search it up. So the leaves actually gives off certain taste and enhances any type of Indonesian or Malay type of cooking. It's mainly used more in the Indonesian types of cooking. Okay, so this part is more to the veggie patch. Let's go around the back here to another plot managed by a neighbor, and here it is. And this neighbor is actually a former farmer who used to farm when she was young, a vegetable farmer. So we have trellises made of bamboo for long beans, pandan leaves, right? Lettuces again, more yam. And this is a what do you call this? Soursop. So that's a flower. Sweet potatoes. This is daun kesum. Okay, this is daun kesum, mainly used in Malay cooking as well as nonya for laksa. Bananas. Right, different types of bananas which we planted, and they give us a good supply of bananas. And this is a coffee plant which is actually flowering, also for the pollinators. We have serai, citronella, and this is the curry leaf tree. Well, they grow very easily. So as you can see, these are the type of soil conditions which are not fertile, but over these few years all of us actually build up our soil. We do a lot of mulching. I do a lot of mulching. If you can see, it looks a bit messy, but mulching helps to condition the soil. It attracts the earthworms. And I practice some of the permaculture methods of chop and drop, like this banana circle here. See, whatever that is cut will be just dropped on top to act as mulching to condition the soil. Okay, so this particular plot of land is actually divided into sections. Over here is what I call the fruit forest. So they are all mainly fruit trees. Okay, we have tapioca growing. Well, they are easy growers. And yeah, we have rat infestation. You can see there are rat holes all around. This is another soursop. Okay, it's actually growing. Bananas. These are pisang emas in Malay, what we call them. It's a bunch of pisang berangan. More soursop. Right. Mealybugs attacking. It needs to be ridden off already, otherwise they will cover the whole fruit. So I'll spray this with neem oil later to get rid of the mealybugs. Blue pea flowers grow along. They are quite intrusive as well, because like this is a seed pod. Okay, so when it's dry, and then after a while they will crack and burst open, spreading all the seed all across the ground, and they just grow. They grow anywhere and everywhere. Not that I'm complaining, because I need the we can use the blue flower to add as coloring, and actually they have nutritional value as well, and are normally used as tea. And we have pineapples. Right, that one is just starting to flower. Here we have one that's developing. It's not big, right? It's still a small size. Still around two more months to go. Right, more pineapples. growing up. And this is the honey starfruit. It's quite a big tree now, right? Plenty of starfruit. Because it takes takes some time to actually to wrap up the fruit. Otherwise, it will be stung by fruit flies. See? So what the fruit fly does is they sting it and they lay their eggs within, so that their larvae will grow up and start to consume this as food. There's a lot. And this tree is as old as this garden. It's about five years now. I need to trim this tree as well. Okay, now another bunch of bananas, and this is actually ripened already. So you can see the birds actually help themselves to it, which is fine because we share so that we can attract more wildlife here. And that's why I try to keep this place wild in that sense. It's not like any clean or organized gardens. So I tend to call this more like an organized chaos. This is a compost pit. Well, not exactly, it's like more like a waste pit, but whatever that is cut is thrown over here and left to decay on its own over time. I plan to turn this up as well so that I can get the nutrient rich compost beneath it. Here is another variety of starfruit, much larger, and this looks nice, ready to be eaten. These are actually sweeter than the smaller variety that I showed earlier. So let's put this down here first, and we have papayas as well. Dragon fruit. This is the red variety. More banana. Blue pea. More pineapples. Palm frond. Fruit. And this particular lime tree is not producing as much as I wanted it to be, but it's pretty old. I would say, yeah, it's about 30 years old or even more than that. And this has been transplanted here from my old house. It used to be planted in a pot. So I think it's because it's under too much shade under the coconut fronds, so it's not getting much light as is required, and maybe that's why it's not flowering and fruiting as well as before. So I just recently give it a good trim back, and for that the new growth can actually give more fruits. Some more papayas grown by other neighbors around here. Here we have torch ginger. See how beautiful it is. Okay. So we harvest this. Okay, people harvest this for cooking. The Thais use this a lot in their food, in Thai cuisine. We can actually use this as well. You know, we add this to enhance taste. if you are steaming fish, or even eating salad, or even like a fruit salad like rojak that uses the prawn paste. So this plant has been around for about 3 years. So more soursop. And this is a cempedak tree. Pretty tall. Still not fruiting. It's coming to the fourth year now, yeah, so hopefully it will start fruiting maybe this year or next year. So here are some patches which are not taken care yet by neighbor. More Thai coconuts. This is a winter melon vine. Neighbor harvested quite a number of winter melons from this particular vine, and I don't see any fruiting yet. But let's wait. But all these are male flowers. Right, these are all male flowers. If it's a female flower, you will see the fruit right at the bottom, at the base. So I don't see any female flowers. Okay, back to the coffee tree. The coffee flowers also give off a very good scent. Right, so in this garden, I planted them here for pollination as well as to fragrance, to provide fragrance for the garden as well. Here's a mango. And yeah, I had this issue with this bug. It flew off already. So if you can see, the young leaf is actually crumpled, right, like this. So what the bug tends to do is to eat and suck off the sap from the young shoots. So I've been taking some time trying to get rid of all of them. So new shoots are growing, and hopefully they will be able to flower this year. And this particular variety is, in Malay we call them the Gajah Merah, which is actually the big size mango. They are green. The skin is actually green and reddish. This is another flowering plant. In Chinese we call it Qi Li Xiang, or I give it a rough translation of 7-mile scent. What it means is that that the scent we can smell the scent from a long distance away, and especially like now when it's windy, the wind tends to carry the scent to all those houses there. So as we walk into the garden, we can actually smell the scent even at the gate. So that's how strong the scent is. And the thing is that some call this flower the Lady of the Night. I'm not if I'm giving the right description or the right name for this. But they tend to, the flowers start to bloom in the night. So this is one. So you can see there are flower pods coming. And they flower in batches, like every month or so they will flower. And there will be a lot of flowers. So the whole garden is actually filled with this flower scent from just one tree. Right, so we have a bird's nest there, a nice bird's nest. I think there is about few generations of birds that laid their eggs over there, or maybe it could be the same bird. So you can see we are surrounded by houses, right? So this is smack in the middle of a residential area, what we call a housing estate. Okay, and so this land was left vacant for a number of years. I've been staying in this neighborhood for about 20 years, and all this while, some part of this land, in certain parts, neighbors here did some planting, but because it's a state land, so what happened was that the local council, due to some complaints or whatever, the local council came and bulldozed away all those plants that the neighbors planted, and they not only came once but twice. So what happened was that I was actually introduced to the head of the local landscaping and development in the local municipality, or MPM Majlis Perbandaran Muar, and she said that we can actually apply for permission to utilize this land, so which we did. So through our local residents committee, we formed a gardening committee and applied, and everything was done within a month. The approval came within a month, and we were ready to go, right? And all I can say is the local council is very supportive, right? Very supportive of building up the community gardens, locally, district-wise, or even state-wise, and in many other states as well, especially like in Kuala Lumpur or in Petaling Jaya and Selangor. There are also a lot of community gardens sprouting, and which is good. See, because it actually provides an avenue of greenery. It creates a little lung, and it also creates its own microclimate. See, like having lots of trees over here, we can increase the oxygen production. We can also cool down the temperature of the surrounding area just by having a green lung, even if it's just a small speck. If I'm talking about this context, it's not too big, it's not too small, but still it provides a lot. So as you can see earlier, we get abundance of food every now and then from this little plot of land. Okay, so I'll catch up with you all again in my next video. Take care, and please subscribe if you'd like to be notified of any updates on this channel. See you.